Just a moment.
Kazuma Kiryu, you may kindly get the fuck out. The real Yakuza game is here. Wreckless the Yakuza missions, or according to this game, the Yakooza missions,
do what you have to do to stop the Yakuza car,
is one of only 2 titles made by Bunkasha Games, the other being a Japan-only sequel. You take on the Yakuza in a series of missions, most of which involve driving like a goddamn idiot through the streets of Hong Kong. Missions are split between 2 paths. The first follows 2 policewomen, Madoka and Mei, while the other follows 2 spies, Ho and Chang. Great care was given to the acting, as well as the Chinese and Japanese accents of all these characters.
These guys were driving the armored van, not the Yakuza cars!
Huh? Oh, sorry, guys.
Excuse me, but why do we have to wear these suits?
I don't know, but...
It's clearly going for the wacky, over-the-top, goofy tone, which is for the best. Each mission has a different objective, like wrecking Yakuza cars, going to various checkpoints, delivering items, and so on. The player's vehicle can't be destroyed, and any visible damage to it is purely cosmetic, which can't be said for everyone else on the road. Aside from Yakuza cars getting totaled, civilian vehicles also take damage, to the point that they'll just give up and pop out of existence. To be fair, the rest of the world does the same thing from time to time. And this is where I should mention the version of the game I'm playing, the GameCube port. Wreckless was made specifically for the Xbox, then ported later to the GameCube and PS2. If you look up footage of the original and compare it to the ports, the difference is pretty clear. Visual quality aside, there are some moments of slowdown in the ports, plus some weird collision detection which leads to moments like this.
Watch out! You're damaging the blood tank!
That's not even getting into things like, say, being able to see where the hitbox of the car ends, or the music cutting out not even halfway into a mission. Progressing through the game and hitting certain milestones unlocks more vehicles. Each has a different weight, horsepower, and size, all of which affect how easy or difficult each mission is. It's worth noting that, for the most part, the regular unlocked cars are way more useful than the bonus cars. Regular unlocks include a big 4x4 and what's clearly not the Back to the Future rocket-powered DeLorean, or maybe the Men in Black LTD. While bonus cars include things like garbage trucks and regular, not fast at all civilian vehicles. No matter the wheels though, the controls feel off. It's the kind of game where you constantly wobble back and forth because you can't move in anything resembling a straight line. Power sliding through turns somehow manages to not feel like either a turn or a slide. I realize what I just said doesn't make sense, but the point is I usually just slowed down and turned normally because that was way easier. Wreckless is at its best with missions where you plow through as many parts of the environment as possible and blow up Yakuza cars. Your car being indestructible and coming with a few rockets at the start of each mission drives that home. The developers clearly knew this was its strong point because the bonus objectives in each mission are usually either finishing within X amount of time, destroying X amount of objects, or wrecking X amount of cars. That said, way too many of the missions do not revolve around destroying cars or running over stuff. The Ho and Chang missions are particularly bad with this. Making matters worse, there are missions where you are supposed to not get hit or touch any walls. This in a game where the civilian AI is so bad it will frequently cause pileups, particularly on the harder difficulties where there are more cars on the road. Being able to slow down time 3 times per mission doesn't help when there's nowhere to go. So I just hoped that sometimes the game would not notice when I hit a wall or a car. And sometimes it didn't. Considering most of the cars don't handle very well, it's also not a good idea to have several missions with extended driving sequences where you need to drive on narrow, winding, fall and you die style paths. When your game is at its best driving at full speed, don't throw in platforming sections where the game's physics frequently cause the car to tip over and right itself so it's facing the wrong direction, and you can't swing the camera around to see the road ahead. It feels like I'm driving a car through one of those unbeatable Banzuke challenges. Then there are the times the missions give you incomplete or flat out wrong instructions. One time I was told to go to the airport to finish a mission, only to fail it because I didn't drive into the back of a moving plane where the exit flag was. Another said to destroy cars to get items from them, when I could just gently bump into the cars and get them anyway. One told me to push a guy's car off a roof when I was just supposed to destroy it. Even when you are supposed to destroy things, shit goes wrong. Some environment pieces have broken or no hit detection. Light poles, glass doors, trees, I passed harmlessly through all of them on a regular basis. It's also not as fun when you realize you hit the destruction total the same way every time. Drive on the curb and hit individual fence pieces. Despite all this, the game's 20 missions, 10 each for the cops and the spies, don't last particularly long. It took me less than 3 hours to clear all of them on the regular difficulty. The one incentive for playing the ports of Wreckless is the added bonus missions, which you unlock by completing the hard mode of each mission. These are absolutely not worth it. Sure, they can unlock cheats, but they manage to be dull, dragged-out interpretations of the regular missions. I almost said they were harder too, but I honestly don't know if that's just me thinking they're hard because of how unbearably long most of them were. Wreckless the Yakuza missions is a game which knows what it does well, and proceeds to not do it. Coupled with the short length, I struggle to recommend this even at a bargain bin price. Kazuma, I take it back, you can stay. You do know I was joking earlier, right?
確かに今のところは俺もそう思う。